I just have 3 things I put it in mention if I can get through this. Oh.
There's Kleenex there.
Yeah. Mama Wanda took care of me at a time when I really needed somebody there for me. She was magical in terms of being a mother to me, and she was very much a mother, not just there as a friend, but she would look at me as she was very concerned about what I was doing. She supported me so much in all of my theater work in high school in particular, and all the speech work I did. I sometimes think I don't think I would have done that and had the courage to do speech and debate and do all that stuff I did in competition, and even the Olympian Haviland Award, unless your mother had been so encouraged me to make that happen. She was also very critical, but in a very constructive way. She would take pictures out of magazines, and she would show them to me, and she says, do you see, you have her coloring, you have her legs, you should wear what's in this, and she would hand this, this to me as a guide, right? And she was very, very good about coming up, and she was always had this wonderful sense of humor that I loved having with her. We'd always laugh, and it was always really fun. But I do remember she would come up to me, and she would just stand and smile sweetly, and then she would look at my lipstick, and she would look at what I was wearing, and she was, this is very good, and this is not so good, but this is good. And she did it in a way that was unoffensive and very positive and very, very, very loving to me. And I do remember walking into this very strange Polish household that I didn't understand because I came from an Italian-American background, and hearing these bilingual conversations that would go on with Wanda Jr. and Wanda Sr., not knowing, I could only pick up a little bit of what was happening when she went from Wanda's end, but it was very typical teenage interchanges between mom and daughter, but only half of it was in Polish, so you couldn't understand what was going on from mom's perspective, but you could kind of get the gist of it. The second thing I really wanted to mention is that when Wanda was pregnant with Sam, no one dressed more elegantly or more beautifully than Wanda Jr. Her clothes that her mother, not only me, we've been talking about her as a seamstress, but she was a master tailor. Every suit that Wanda wore through those months of her being pregnant looked like Armani, only better. They were exquisite, masterful clothes. I thought this woman could have made a fortune just doing a line of her own clothing that she designed. They were really spectacular. Wanda, you looked the most elegant of any pregnant woman on the face of the earth.
The only one in the 80s who looked really good, or 90s, whatever those kids were.
The third story I just want to mention is that it was Sam's graduation from Hillbrook, and I was honored to be there. And I remember Wanda was really getting on then. It was the last few years of her life, and I hadn't seen her in a while. And I remember every time I'd see her, we'd start laughing together. There was always something funny to be at. I saw her at the graduation, and I realized, oh, she's just not quite there anymore. And I miss that sharpness between us and that fun that we'd always have together. And we sat next to each other, and I had Mama Wanda here, and I was here, and then Wanda was next to me. And we're all focused on this little ceremony that's going on for Sam's graduation. And I'm not really talking to Mama Wanda very much because I'm not thinking she's hearing me very well. Well, all of a sudden, you know, there's somebody on stage, and I don't remember who it was, Sam, at your graduation, who was talking away, but all of a sudden it's getting a little boring. And like I'm sitting next to Deanna right now, and all of a sudden she goes like this and rolls her eyes. Hearing everything that is coming out of whoever it was that was speaking on stage, it was very clear that she was catching every single thing that was going on. We spent the next 20 minutes trying desperately, grasping our stomachs, not to laugh, not to disturb this very reverent event. And it's one of the things I remember most in the latter years of her life. And she was very lucky to have both Wanda and John and Sam, who and Janine, to take such care of her in her years that she needed it the most. And I'll never forget her.